Ew. Ew. What up, bum? What up, Crackalacka? What's up, players? It's your boy Rick eating ramen, Rick Ramen, repping the Boom Jackpot Sweat on a Saturday night. Saturday night football up in here. How often do you get that? Ricky Ramen in the streets. It's your boy. Let's do a little jackpot sweat. You know, I said on Twitter and in the app and in the $90 minute that DeAndre Hopkins has crazy splits when he's coming off games where he has 50 receiving yards or less. And now here we are. Robbie's having DeAndre Hopkins, monster game. He's at 129 yards with 8 minutes left, and it's a competitive game, so he could easily get 150 and 2 touchdowns. Credit to the Jets, though. They made a lot of really good second half adjustments and really made Deshaun Watson uncomfortable. Using the blitz, collapsing the pocket while keeping him contained. Even though they pretty much can't run the ball at all. Their run game's been non-existent. So it's been interesting to see how they've been doing it. Play action, a lot of third and long. Robbie Anderson's having a great game. It sucks Robbie Anderson was hurt because him and Darnold could have had a really special season. But Anderson had an ankle injury that really bothered him for almost the entire mid-season. It was less than ideal for a guy that's a big play threat, can get down the field the way he can, and then you're just going to give him, he's going to have an ankle problem. Nobody wants that. Let's get the jackpot results up, see who's cashing. What do you got for me? We had a couple. So I took a picture of it earlier. If I go through my photos, could be problematic. But we actually almost had one. Why'd it go away? There it is. We almost had one today. This is Double Ray 78. When DeAndre Hopkins was at 108 yards. This was at halftime. So if it were a first half contest, Double Ray, you would have been a winner. I took that screenshot for you because honestly, it looks good on you, man. I hope you keep pushing because that looked real good on you. Ramen is so good. I don't know if you guys ever crack an egg in your ramen, but that's the realness. Okay. What up, Boom? As I heard a wise man say. Let's take a look at our jackpot results. Not a lot of Super Cinco action tonight. Robbie Anderson threw a lot of people off, but he's on it. Rambo 402 is on it, but Lamar Miller is what really ground a bunch of entries tonight. Brutal ankle injury in the first quarter. He actually came back into the game and tried to play on it, but had to go back into the locker room, and he just don't want to risk it. An older guy for a playoff team, they're going to need him. So it's been all Alfred Blue. And even so, you can see how sad this question is. Lamar Miller left in the second quarter, and Alfred Blue still hasn't outrushed him. It's actually kind of crazy. So it's Elijah McGuire out here winning the question in the fourth quarter, an active part of the offense, if only just to keep the Texans' defense honest, but it's still a factor. I can't tell you how much we needed that, boys and girls. We've been doing a lot of free contests. Check us out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. A lot of free entry contests on our Mighty Dollar Minute videos. If you like those, if you don't like those, reach out to me. Let me know how you're enjoying it. And, give me a minute. People are rushing me to get. If I miss you on a free entry, just remind me and we'll get you going. 4th and 1, Darnold hits to Robbie Bobby. I'm telling you, man. It's his guy. Robbie Anderson could have had a really nice wide receiver 2 type season with wide receiver 1 upside week in, week out because his deep ball is phenomenal. But that was, that's football. The Jets were always limited on weapons. And he is their, by far and away, their best weapon. The entire going in, going out, going into the season, we knew he would be the biggest guy. Checking in on the chat, mighty active. Everybody's hanging. We love it. It's a boom Saturday night. 2 NFL games, NBA games. I'm out here getting ready for Week 15 action tomorrow. Get my videos up. Do the family Hanukkah party. And come back here for the jackpot sweat around 3 o'clock. I love the Sunday jackpot sweat. There's so many chances to hit a big payday. Last week, we almost had $7,000 go off the board, and we missed it by some garbage time. Garbage. But it is what it is. We persevere. And another week is another opportunity. Thought I had noodles on my shirt. It's real. Outside of the Cinco, the mighty dollar is where Lamar Miller's absence was really felt. Darnold inside the 10. Nope. They got 3 tight ends, and none of them can cash. Here's Double Ray right here, still hanging in with his 108. Deshaun Watson's also getting outpassed by Darnold right now, but there's 6 minutes left. Darnold looks like he's going to go in to take the lead, and then the Texans get one more drive. So I expect Deshaun Watson to eclipse that number, and you could see Hopkins' number go up as well. Couple of milli entries. I love it. Fairbairn. I've been absolutely buried by Fairbairn in fantasy this week. This is unbelievable. All his field goals were 40 and 50 yarders. Get out of here. That's worth way too many points in season-long fantasy. Blitz, Darnold out of the pocket. I'm like 2 plays behind. That's going to be a hold probably. But it's really all about the Jets going in for a touchdown. The Texans tying it at 22. Or taking the lead. 26-22. Holding defense, that's going to decline. Here come the Jets. I don't know what I'm saying. 100K, couple entries, couple brave souls. We love it. Robbie Anderson getting real lowballed here by B. Brown. Come on, B. Brown. These defenses are not that good. The Texans... Darnold's not moving right. Yeah, I agree with Mooch. The Jets defense is supposed to be their backbone, but they don't have a pass rush, and they can't always win in man coverage. Their corners aren't great. The Texans have no corners. They've been injured. They've bad injuries in the secondary. So if you can get protection, the Jets are bringing in all kinds of extra linemen, extra tight end packages, rollout packages, try to buy Darnold some time. He's going to run. Ooh, what? If he's limping, why'd you call a QB draw next play? Jeremy Bates is really the worst, man. That was horrible. Clowney and Watt, that's the strength of that defense, but you can burn them in the short intermediate game. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just got a tweet about it because I'm going to play behind. I feel like it's going to be an Eli McGuire touchdown based on the tweet that I got. But yeah, the $2 progressive, we saw a lot of hits on Eli McGuire is going to get in the end zone on that? Gross. That was pretty cool. They pushed the pile a good 2 yards there. I hate Jets fans so much. The Jets celebrate. You know that phrase that's like grind daily, celebrate seldom, or something like that? The Jets don't do that. It's like, don't do that. They're so outrageously over celebratory. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. We'll go for 2. We'll put it on the kickoff. If you give it to me on the 1, I would say go for 2 there. And then they need a touchdown to tie it. They can't tie it with a field goal. I don't want them to tie it with a field goal. There's a big extra point for a guy that's missed 2 extra points today, by the way. I know you guys are probably watching this ahead of me, but I'm doing my best, okay? And with that score, basketball started. Dang it. We're gonna have all sorts of new jackpot entries coming up in here. That's okay. I'm gonna be here for another 10 minutes on the jackpot stream, and then I'll come back for the second game. I'm not going anywhere tonight. We'll get fights later. We'll hang out. Look at that Jets fan. He's so excited. Here come the Texans. Whatever. I just don't. No more Fairbairn. No more Fairbairn. Let's look at the early slate. We've started some Sunday research. We're going to do our early slate, late slate, Sunday Night Football like we always do. And then I'm going to pick the 3 best individual slates that I think are worth going after. I did it last week. I thought it was a good idea. So we'll get it done again. Luck versus Rodgers. This is a tough one. Luck against the Cowboys and Rodgers against the Bears. For Luck, I think so much of Sunday's action is going to hinge on T.Y. Hilton. If T.Y. Hilton can't go, the Colts are going to be in significantly more trouble than they are just going in facing a red-hot Cowboys team. And Aaron Rodgers is captain of a lost season, so the Bears will certainly be wanting to put a hurt on him. I'd much rather have Luck in this situation, but it's a really tough question to start out with. I will say that Luck's volume has far outpaced Rodgers' volume on the season, and Rodgers should be leaning into Aaron Jones at least a little bit. What was I doing, chat? So I slight edge to Luck there, but nothing more. Rushing yards, we got Mixon, Zeke, Saquon, and David Johnson. I love me some Saquon, obviously. Zeke is the volume play, and Mixon is the matchup play. David Johnson has a decent matchup, but he's dealing with a quad, and it's just like a questionable guy. I'd rather take a healthy guy over a questionable guy, especially when you got Chase Edmonds full-on TD vulture up in that pun. And as much as I want to take Zeke, and Zeke is probably the right option, the way Saquon's been busting big plays and the Giants offense seems to have been altered over the bye week to be catered to Saquon, I have no problem going with Saquon there. Even though he's a C-bet, it's like the most disrespectful C-bet. Joe Mixon can work in the passing game too, just as much as the rushing game. I think Oakland, with their slow pass rush, they're not going to give, or Driscoll's not going to have he's going to have the time. Like Jeff Driscoll's had 2 starts. They've been against Denver and San Diego. Both of those teams have really good edge rushers. So like now you're going into Arden Key Jr. Jeff Driscoll's finally going to have time in the pocket to work his progression. Ultimately not throw the ball because he's bad. Check it down to Joe Mixon, and that's how we rack up points. Joe Mixon is a freak. The Raiders defense is slow. I hope Joe Mixon has his best game of the year. Fantasy. I got 2 of these guys going tomorrow. But I'm going to go Saquon for big play potential. Receiving yards, boy, Mike Evans is what killed us on the progressive jackpot last Sunday. But he gets a decent matchup against the Ravens, who a couple of teams have... Oh, what's up, Bumble? A couple of teams have done damage against them. But I'm not going to take Mike Evans here. Worried about Thielen's health, but the Dolphins are much more burnable. I would look out and see what Xavier Howard's status is. I can't believe Jared Cook's working his way into this question. It's honestly impressive, but the Bengals defense has been that bad. But research aside, I think Thielen is the best receiver in this group. And so if Xavier Howard isn't active tomorrow, I have a really good feeling about hooked on a Thielen. A really good Thielen about Thielen. Here comes Watson. He needs like 12 yards to break to beat Darnold, and he just hits Hopkins for 20. Going against DeAndre Hopkins sucks right now in PPR. I'm getting flamed. He's completely erasing Mike Williams' game. It is disgusting. And add that on Fairbairn, and I'm not having a great night. The lightning question for this is T.Y. Hilton, so you will have to keep an eye out if he can't go. He's dealing with a shoulder. So, like, he can take the shot and play. It's not like it's going to affect his ability to cut and be physically fit, and that's the reason why I played him against the Texans last week, but it's totally different matchup against the Cowboys, who are much more physical at the point of attack, and I just have not as good a feeling about Hilton as I did last week when he was questionable. He did practice more that week too, so it is a tough argument. So as far as early slate goes, this is a major concern for me, but we'll have to keep an eye on his status and we'll do what we can do. We'll attack it the best we can. But like we said, there's a Watson pressure sacked jump throw into the ground. He took a big hit. There's a single game slate for every game, NFL game. This is a jackpot slate for every single game slate. Boom. So we can go through these matchups. We can find something we like, particularly like a Falcons stack, Bengals stack with some Jared Cook. Let's go into Lions Bills, where I think there could be some real edge. Matt Stafford's got a really tough matchup against number one pass defense in the league, but I think the Lions will have to chase that game. So I got no problem putting my money on Stafford. Is this to Hopkins? You've got to be kidding me. Throw the flag. What's up, Joel? Nothing much. I'm looking at some single game slates, doing a jackpot sweat for, just stupid Jet game that all my friends are at. So stupid. And I got Texans -1, kind of sweating it out. The Texans were up 17-3, and they're letting this game get away from them a little bit. They got to get a nice drive together, but now they're in scoring range, so let's hope they punch this in for a big old sixer. Josh Allen is an A bet. That's honestly amazing. Josh Allen is the most likely person to lead this game in rushing, and he's a smash play. He had 50 yards on the first drive last week. Hopkins is my guy. I'm playing in semis in my big money, so I need him to chill. Dude, me too. Also playing against him in my semis, also need him to chill. It's the volume that's killing me, man. I'll take if that last big touchdown was his last play, I'd take it, but it's oh my god. That's not him, thank God. Jordan Thomas's first catch of the game. Here come the Texans. There's only 3.5 minutes left in this game. But yeah, Hopkins is just so good all the time. It's really frustrating. And you knew after he had a dud game, his splits after dud games are force feed monster takedown games, which sucks because I'm in a 2-week playoff matchup. So last week I got the dud game, and this week I get the wham bam slam ma'am game. But Josh Allen is the leading rusher in that game, and I like him. And then give me Forster, right? Robert Forster should get a lot more looks without Kelvin Benjamin on the field. Demaryius Thomas gets these little screens. He's a beast. I'm projected to win, though. Let's go, dude. Let's go. We love hearing that. Get some extra bills. I'm in 2 playoffs, and I'm playing the Texans kicker in both of them. Like, complete garbage. He's got 17 points, and no matter what league you cut it up in. That's like 3 touchdowns. It's more than Mahomes. Fairbairn outscored Mahomes this week. He's the number 1 seed. Yeah, I mean, he's got Hopkins. He's clearly got a good squad. As far as the first round picks, the people who took Hopkins, the people who took Julio, those are the people who oh man, they got him again. Another catch, but it's going to be 3rd and short. Gurley, like those people, a lot of people with the first round pick dudded hard. So not a surprise there. Kenny Golladay receiving yards. I think this could be pretty low. I'll go for 58 on Trey White, but I do think he'll lead the team in targets. And Bruce Ellington is out, the slot receiver for the Lions. So opportunity could be forced his way, but the Lions are so broken offensively. It makes me sad. And I have Kenny Golladay in fantasy. I don't think I'm going to start him. This is a fade to Hopkins, right? Obviously, touchdown, kill me. He's unbelievable. He's so good. He's going to fit. They're going to combine for 60 points, Fairbairn and Hopkins. That's unbelievable. He's so good. What is that D-back supposed to do? He mauls him at the line of scrimmage and hugs him at the point of attack. Absolutely nothing he could do. He has Mahomes and played KC defense. I'm hoping Ryan gets 30 plus this week. It's a decent matchup, but I mean, Hopkins doing this makes it really tough for me to even dream of having a chance this week. That's super annoying. 2 minutes left. This game cannot keep going. This game needs to end ASAP, Rocky. The Jets can throw a pick here. I'm okay with it. Dude, he's so good. I don't understand it. He just bossed up the D-back so hard. Oh my God, he's so good. Not fair. 10 for 170 and 2 touchdowns. Actually ridiculous. All the people that predicted crazy things about Hopkins today were right. Hate it. Hate it so much. Why on the week I'm playing him? Dude, I'm playing him 2 weeks in a row now. But yeah, it's after a dud week. After a dud week, he is guaranteed to go off. This is a known thing now. It's not like you can do anything about it. Fantasy playoffs. You just got to get in there and roll the dice. We got to hope we get big performances tomorrow. Hey, you said you got Matt Ryan. Let's look at this Falcons contest. The Cardinals defense hasn't given up a top 12 quarterback in like 6 weeks, though. They held Rivers, they held Mahomes, they held Rodgers all the past 3 out of the last 6 weeks. But he's obviously going to outthrow Josh Rosen. Like, that's a given. That makes this a pretty easy slate because this one gets knocked off right away. And then Tevin Coleman and Ito Smith have been at a near even split share. So I think that's 2 out of 4. If David Johnson plays, this becomes an instant 2 out of 4 smash. Then you get receiving yards and it becomes a little bit tougher with no Julio. But Larry Fitzgerald is a target monster compared to these other 3 guys. And Sherfield stepped up too. Can't count him out. But I like Fitzgerald there. And then you're just looking for Julio yards. Patrick Peterson is not going to shadow him. You got Michael Thomas and Ertz too. Michael Thomas could have a really nice matchup. Ertz obviously a little nervous with Nick Foles, and that is what it is. Makes me nervous about all of the Eagles, but if any Eagle can be labeled the safety blanket, it's Zach Ertz. So you get a little bit of a benefit there, and maybe he gets my buddy's complaining so hard. Let me just see how many points DeAndre Hopkins put up on me just now. Whatever, I'll put it up for you guys. Well, this is my league with the championship belt. Look, he's got Lamar Miller with the 0.8, and then there's Fairbairn outscoring Justin Jackson and Mahomes. Like, actually outrageous. But if you told me he'd get 50 points from 4 people, including 2 backs and a quarterback, I would actually be pretty hype about it. The real problems is going against DeAndre Hopkins here. It's so stupid. 40 burger. Like, I thought I was a genius with Mike Williams, and then I'm getting absolutely erased now. And he's got Fairbairn. So a cool 58. 50 from 4 guys, and then in PPR I'm getting 60 from 2 guys. Getting absolutely slapped up. This is really, really rough. He had Keenan Allen too, but other than that, this guy's only got Drew Brees and Saquon as like legitimate threats to me. So I felt like if I could just get a minimal game from Hopkins tonight, I would have a big chance to pull the upset. Now I'm pretty tilted about it. The Fairbairn is just a brutal game. 35. Yeah, it's a absolute monster week-winning performance that you're powerless to. Like Mike Williams, this is one of my best fantasy plays of all time, and it gets completely erased in one day. You had Williams too. Let's go. No, yeah. I mean, the only consolation is that like DeAndre Hopkins, okay, that's one of his 2 best players. So Mike Williams is not one of my 2 best players. Like I still have Mixon and potentially David Johnson and maybe Derrick Henry if I put him in over Jalen Samuels, because I'm not big on Jalen Samuels right now. But I need Luck to have a big game in both leagues. If Andrew Luck has a slow game, my season is over anyway. So I have one of the worst teams. This is one of the worst semifinal teams I've ever had, so I'm okay with it. Oh, almost had that interception. That's unbelievable. Would have ended the game real quick. I don't mean to show other fantasy games while I'm talking about Boom, but we're just down to that fantasy playoffs. I feel like sharing with you. I take your questions all year, and I feel like if I got to let you in on my personal journey as well, that's just where it's at. But we struggle onwards. Tomorrow's the day, man. Tomorrow we'll be in the fantasy tilt at 3 o'clock like we always do, and hopefully we'll be talking about Andrew Luck throwing 5 touchdowns. But other than that, I don't see a way out for me, and that makes me sad. But it is what it is, man. That's fantasy football. You get to the playoffs, and then you hope the luck can take you home. And for me, that's a little more literal than it is in most years. So that's another small slate that I think has really good edge. And then let's look at Raiders-Bengals, just because the Bengals are a mess. I do like the way Derek Carr has been playing the last few weeks. And then Joe Mixon becomes a smash spot. So, like, fantasy is the shit. No, I love fantasy football. I love it, but the playoffs are what they are. I really like best ball and DFS. Like, the combination of the two is like, I get to make my best matchups each week and like play the best team I can. I love DFS and small slate DFS, and best ball is fun because it gets the year-long evaluation and value play, and you don't have to worry about submitting a lineup. So that's season long, just has these problems where like I go against DeAndre Hopkins 40 bomb and I play against the Texans kicker who puts up the game of his life. But I won a fantasy title. The one of my years of fantasy title, I had in the semifinals, we had individual defensive players, and I had a defensive end tip an Eli Manning pass and run it in for a touchdown, Trent Cole. And then in the finals, Steven Jackson went off for like 45 points in standard. So I have been there on the other side of that dominating performance where you win by a huge margin and don't have to care about it. You know what I mean? It really just comes down to, yeah, exactly. That's the best combo. But like, being on the side of the blowout, there's probably no better feeling than watching the team that you built and shaped and molded and rolled with for 16 weeks just completely shit kicking or taking down a championship. And there it is. My fantasy league is complaining. My buddy said, I just bet the over for twice the amount of the league fee, so I don't care. Someone said, that doesn't win you the belt. We have a championship belt in my home league, and that's what we play for, and that's what I hope to put right here in 2 weeks. I hope to claim that and put it up for you guys. That's what I do it for. Everything fantasy I do for the belt. I don't care about money. I want my fantasy football championship belt. Nothing else matters, my guy. It is what it is. But the Jets are about to lose this game, right? And then we'll get out of here and we'll come back for the next game. I got to brush my hair and do the Sunday videos and make sure we're all copacetic for, was it 8:20 start? Yeah, we're going to be fine there. And then we'll come back there and, see what the Browns can do tonight. And then we'll take a look at our best slates, and maybe there's some basketball action that'll be good for us to check out too. So hopefully it'll be a good rest of the night for us at Boom. I really want to call a jackpot winner later, so make sure you got a damn good entry, Joel, so I could call you on the phone and we could giggle about your 8th jackpot win. That would be the ish. Other than that, I'm getting out of here, boys. Be good. I'll come back later. Lamar Miller really boofed us tonight, and DeAndre Hopkins is a freak. I tried to tell you on bounce backs, but it's hard to just come out on camera and say 170 yards, but God knows I got you close. I got you within 60. I told you he's going to have a big game, and that means I'm not going to pay anybody on Twitter. That's what that means. All right, be good. I'll talk to you later. I'll be back later. Peace, guys.